Hey, Sir Theodore. They're welcome, and they're helpful. Hey, Soul Bad Guy, what's up, my friend? Oh, there's a second book in the secret library. That's what it is. Thank you, Episcocat. Okay, that's what really threw me. I was like, wait, there's a book inside Paterdomus. Man, how was I supposed to know that? Oh, I was too greedy. Like, the quest was like, hey, go find this book about the Seven. I should have looked more extensively at the secret library. That's my own mistake. Whoops. Let's fix it. Okay, yeah, and that bookcase, like, lit up. Like, this is the one. Yeah, it says you've already taken the only... Oh, here's the other bookcase over here. My God. You search the bookcase and find a book titled Histories of the Hallowland. All right, everybody. And modern-day Mauritania. Oh, my God. Okay, well... Buckle in, everybody. You're excited from the Gamescom announcements today, Soul Bad Guy? Awesome. What was good? Cool, Arya. Oh, man. TMNT Shredder's Revenge sounds awesome. Is that the one that's like a throwback of the old school TMNT arcade games? Because I loved those. Alright, so story time again. We have some more to do. Alright. In years gone by, the land of Mauritania went by another name, that of the Hallowed Land. Much of that age has now disappeared into the mists of time, and as distant time and forbidding as that time appears to be, sometimes, like that dreadland Mauritania itself, we need to shoulder our heavy armor and trudge wearily onward. To understand the past gives us some glimmer of hope of understanding our time here now, and perhaps a hopeful glance at a future. The strange structure of the land of Mauritania is due, most likely, in no small part, to the many wars that have been fought through the lands of Gillinor. But even here, there is something quite strange about the terrain, swampy and rotten. The foul smell of death and desolation fills the air. Where does this pungent aroma come from? Wow, that's a good question. I just thought it was swamps smell bad. It is said that before the Dark Lord Drakan arrived in Mauritania, a very different land existed. A green land, pleasant and bounteous, sufficient to please many hundreds of farmers and to supply large towns, villages, and cities with food. There is little information to support this idea, but there are hints that this land has not always been the darkened and dreadful place it now appears to be. There is some speculation about a time before our recorded history when there appeared to be some disputes between the gods. In this time, it is said that Saradomin and Zamorak brought forces through into the world to fight for them and claim large areas of land. Where they brought these forces from and how is still a mystery, but we can hardly deny that many weird and unnatural creatures do exist in this land, things which even the most advanced of scholars do not yet comprehend. Many of these creatures still infest Mauritania, and their place of origin is still not properly located. As an example of strange creatures, let us focus on the ghasts in Mortmire Swamp. Which bizarre act of nature causes these freakish creatures to exist? Really, what I care about is the fact that they ruin my food. It seems that whoever dies in that diseased and disgusting place is forever doomed to it, ever hungry and searching for victims to feed on. Blessed it is, then, that somehow brave new adventurers are able to reveal these foul creatures and destroy them with the great aid of Guthix, who adores balance amongst all things. Yep, with my special pouch I can do that, and at the same time, release the tortured soul from its earthbound torment. It is clear that some influence is at work in Mauritania, and its intent is bent toward evil. Before this dark period in history, Mauritania is believed to have had a golden age of peace. It is hard to imagine that the shade-infested town of Morton could have once been a busy, happy, thriving, bustling town, and even Canifis, once a busy market village supplying all manner of goods to the local population, instead of a cesspit of werewolf activity and a certain death trap for all but the hardiest of adventurers. Ah, a cesspit. Stories and yarns told by the inhabitants of Mauritania and those lucky few who make their way out of that dark land give us some glimpses of what might have happened there. From those peoples come many bits of story and song which we can piece together a plausible history line. That is the true aim of this tome. Let us begin with the current overlord of Mauritania, Lower Nile, Vergidi Dracan. His reign in Mauritania has been unchallenged in the history of the land, as far as we can tell, but how long has this been? What do we know of this Dark Lord? It is clear to many who have visited Mauritania that he is a creature of darkness, a vampire, but by which strange happenstance did he come to be here? Some reports say that he came from beneath the ground of a great castle which stands in the middle of Mauritania, but from where? Some reports claim that a huge city lies beneath the castle. This does not seem plausible, yet others say that there are countless tunnels which lead into a flaming dark inferno, which it is claimed these dark creatures come from, even more unlikely. What is interesting is that all of these great yarns, one fact remains always the same. He came into and attacked a castle which already existed. Oh, they show April as a playable character, Soul Pad Guy? That is awesome. Hey, Veronica. What's up, my friend? Hello over there to India. Oh no, there's a Karen at your house. Don't let her in. Weird that this author believes that Morton and Canifis were around before the fall of Hallowvale. That was thousands of years ago. Yeah, it is interesting. We've got some, you know, history and histories are often have huge inaccuracies, and you need several of them all put together to kind of piece things, you know, and divine some truth. It is the author's belief that the castle existed before Dracan entered Mauritania, and that some other power existed in the land before him. It is good to get story about that huge castle that I always walk by in Mauritania. You know, this like very scary looking place. I'm always kind of like, what is that? And now I'm finding out. What this power was is not known, though stories again give us a glimpse at what might have been. One such tale is of a queen from a faraway land of considerable power and revered by the peoples. Right, it's the Ice Lady or whatever. It is also claimed that the peoples named the land Hallowvale after her, though there is no true record of this. It is interesting to consider it is not that a time of peoples and pleasantness could have existed in the land of Mauritania before this, and perhaps to consider, hope and pray that at some point those times shall be returned to this dark, plagued and unhappy land. However, let us not forget that had it not been for the 7 priestly warriors at Silveria, the lands of Mauritania might extend today as far as Falador, and Myreque may have been an even more sinister city than it appears today. And of those 7, perhaps the most intriguing could said to be Evandis Seergaze of Lumbridge. His silver throw rod of power with blue serene gem was said to have been crafted by the artisans of Saradomin himself. And though there are no accurate records, it is said that its exact and precise dimensions and shape were the just reason for its great power. When asked about how it was made and how it came into being, Avandus had always simply commented, "Of silver thrall and exact dimensions is the item constructed. After enchantments that come from the magic of man, can it be placed in our Lord Saradomin's holy water, where magical blessings will he commit to it? It is not clear why he should hide such important details in such incoherent ramblings. Suffice to say that many artisans have tried recreating this holy relic in a bid to supply adventurous types keen on restoring balance to Mauritania, but alas, this could not happen because the true dimensions of the relic are not accurately known. It is believed that this secret, along with the artifact, died with Avandus and now lies sealed up in his tomb beneath Paterdomus, never to be seen again. Another infuriatingly cryptic element which is yet to be explained is the balance which Guthix is supposed to have invested in Avandus in the form of a potion. Once again, his cryptic message does not help very much. Guthix's balance needs to be fed to those minions of darkness in order for the balance to be restored, and this task carried out only when they are held in Saradomin's power. For this to occur, one should supplement a common potion of bodily restoration with the essence of garlic and silver dust, the latter being gained by the use of a strange machine in the tower to the northeast of Mauritania and in the hands of some ghostly beings. Whatever the truth of all these details, it seems clear that Drakon is intent on staying. His authority in that region has never been challenged and perhaps arguably has grown over the centuries. Reports from the area are limited and vague, so perhaps the truth is either far less or far greater than we may currently comprehend. In any event, it is clear that some strategy should be forthcoming if Drakon's evil minions should once again try to spread into Misthalin. It is believed, perhaps in error, that Paterdomus will stand forever as a silent guardian against the power of Mauritania. Perhaps one day we will see a redress of the evil that Drakon has brought to Mauritania, and we will get to witness firsthand the bounteous riches and wholesome living that can be had in the land once called Hallowvale. Okay. Touché. So, they tell me how to make a few things here, which is the Guthix potion. Okay. And that's helpful. But then they're explaining to me that I'm going to need to take the staff to Holy Water. Holy Water we can get. But after enchantments that come from the magic of man. That's the tricky part. Enchantments that come from the magic of man. I know they want me to get cosmic and water runes because of the quest instructions, but I'm going to look at the other book and see what this has to say. It would have been. I mean, yeah, Blue Serene Gem is pretty helpful to be a Sapphire. Like, I would have probably picked that part up. But the rest, you know, when you look at the... look at my spell book. Okay. In the skilling section. Yeah, Morbid Fell was telling me that too, and I will check that in a second. The rest came from looking at the rod itself, because it says it's a mixture of silver and mithril. But conveniently as well, once you make the rod mold by using the clay, when you go to the furnace, it does tell you exactly what you need to make it, which is a cut sapphire and the mithril and silver bar. Okay. Let me actually look at that really fast. My spell book. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my my spell book here. Here it is, and the skilling section. And let's see, I can level 1 enchant. Oh, imbues sapphire opal and lapis lazuli jewelry with magical properties. Here we go. So I can do this on my Silverthorn rod, right? Yes, as you cast the enchantment on the rod, it seems to vibrate and glow. Okay. Step 1. Now we need the holy water for step 2. Great. Alright, let me read this one. Welcome, dear reader, to this tome. I entrust that it will suit to your enjoyment most amicably, and perhaps in a scholarly pursuit, inform you of the manifest concerns alive in the land of Mauritania. The land known as Mauritania is as dark and uninviting as Misthalin is light and welcoming. While the intention of the author is not to teach geography to its readership, some small amount of area description would perhaps shed useful light to the readership. By far, the most common entrance into Mauritania is through the Temple of Saradomin, hereinafter referred to as Paterdomus. It is located in lands known as Silveria and is the site of the famous Battle of the Salve. It is here that the 7 brave priestly warriors stood shoulder to shoulder to defend Misthalin from darkness. Oh, that's the spell you use to make games necklaces, Nickman? That little enchant there? That's cool. Due east of Paterdomus is the wild and strangely populated village of Canifis. The citizens of this area are to be least trusted, as many an innocent traveled there and has never returned. However, some of those who have had sense enough to avoid the village did, on occasion, return from the evil lands to recount their stories before being specially treated for diseased imaginings and fearfulness. Northeasterly of Canifis is a most impressive but dark castle of no small stature. Inside one may find the very stuff of nightmares. It is best avoided in the author's opinion, as it is much which resides in Mauritania. If one is then to make way through a most undesirable forest infested with creatures of darkness, one may happen upon a ghostly seaport, all death and decomposition. Though the author cannot confirm it, adventurers returning from such a place remarked that for those of stout composition, well-rendered faculties, and an eye for profit, could engage in meaningful work there and advance themselves. So it's the Slayer Caves, what they're talking about, or the Slayer area. Returning once again to Canifis, one would see a huge swath of rotten, foul-smelling, and life-threatening marsh. These great huge tracts of land, are called Mortmire. It is the swamp of true terror. Within this dark, stench-ridden foulness lives a most disgusting creature known as the Ghast, due in no small part to the confusing nature of the terrain and the lack of anything edible. Many innocents have died in this place, starved to death with hunger. I like how they're explaining to me, the nightmare that is navigating the swamp and the Ghasts. It's like, yeah, I've seen them. It's not fun. Yeah, Sir Theodore, it's so good. This is supposed to be a happy occasion. Let's not waste time arguing about who murdered who. When such a soul lives no longer, its form takes on the most disgusting of appearances. It hungers and eats anything it can, waylaying travelers and consuming their food, leaving nothing but stinking, rotten remains. Why, you mean these remains I've got in my inventory? If travelers have no food, it will extract life force from those it can to satiate its considerable hunger. Few that have traveled through Mortmire have returned to give details of what lies beyond. The author cannot rightly confirm the truth of what is reported here, but can simply transcribe it in the hope that one day the truth can be revealed. It is south of Mortmire that the traveler may venture upon a twisty and turning path which weaves around various large bodies of swamp water. To the south of this is said to be an ancient and evil mine. The path to this is difficult to discover, but apparently holds great wealth inside it. But, gentle reader, I beseech you, lay some value for your own life, and leave this area to the doubtless evil creatures which could prosper there on the lives of innocents in search of fame, fortune, and glory. To the east of the twisty turning path is a small village known as Morton. Its inhabitants are both vile and deadly. Morton is once said to have been a village making the focus of its living from the internment of important peoples into crypts beneath its rustic surface. Now, the inhabitants long interred in the crypts walk the surface of the village and drain the life force of innocent and adventurer alike. It's interesting to wonder if this is true, because I thought that the people walking around Morton were simply the villagers that had been corrupted. South of Morton lies a larger but somewhat bedraggled township, long ago run into ruin. Its original name is lost. It is now mostly commonly referred to as Burderot, and most apt a name it is. All manner of ruined buildings litter this land. Some small token of civilization may have lived here at one point, but has long since vanished now. Little is accurately known of the eastern side of Mauritania, except that it is known as the Sanguinisti region by those that inhabit it. Also reported is that the northern area is referred to as Darkmire, and the southern side is called Myreque. Those lucky few who manage to escape this terrible place are few and far between, so this information is largely unconfirmed. One final place which is worth mention is the area to the east of Morton, noted for its unusual appearance. 3 small hillocks are all that distinguish this place from the rest of the area. And so, dear reader, I have completed a brief and very unsure explanation of the geography of Mauritania. Please excuse the author if further details prove to dispute all I have written here. This treaty is merely the accumulation of vague reports gained from travelers surviving Mauritania and exiting Paterdomus as they headed for the pleasanter lands of Misthalin. And as example, it is reported that somewhere centrally located in the vastness of Mauritania is a dark and dire castle said to be the home of Drakan, the Lord of Mauritania, though this has yet to be confirmed. Right. Okay. No, I've never played Tribes of Midgard, Arya. Alright, so now what we need to do is get the holy water, and let's see if we can just get it from the salve itself. I don't know if this counts. So I wonder if I can use the rope on the rod. Okay. I wonder if I can search the... I just want to dip this baby in there. You look down the well and see the fresh water of the River Salve moving swiftly along. Alright. So, use the rod on the well. After some time, you withdraw the rod. It seems to glow in a rather strange way. Okay. Oh yeah, I did kill Cerberus. Let me look at it. Oh, I had to use the rope. That's right. Hey, Kiva. Hello, my friend. It has been a while. So glad you could tune in. Looks like they've replaced the guard dog. Oh, they did. It's not that same dog anymore. That's hilarious. All right. So I placed this into the well, and it's been blessed. And Velioff will know what to do with this rod and appreciate my efforts making it. So, yeah, let's go talk to Velioff then. I think this is all done. Kiva, I just made the Rod of Ivandis, and I'm trying to help take out Drakan and save Mauritania from a nightmare. Proceed regardless. Nice guy, all you need to do, my friend, is to continue to be exactly as your name says, a nice guy, and be of good temper, and continue to show up and we can talk about that for sure. That's what I'm hoping for, Kiva. Okay, so let's go back here. All right, we're going in. It's interesting that Guthix has not intervened at all in this situation. And what it makes me think is that, like, maybe the balance isn't really out of whack. I mean, it's terrible for the people of Mauritania, but maybe if, you know, balance is just a thing that happens and Guthix is going to fight to preserve it, perhaps then these people should just move out of Mauritania and move in to Misthalin and just kind of call it a day. No, don't come after me, Ghasts. I don't have any food. Hey, thanks, Kiva. I got really lucky and got this pet. Oh, a Pisky Cat. That was a very good one. I am swamped. We built a third castle. And it sank into the swamp. And then it burned down. But then... then we got the castle to stay up. They're trapped here? Oh my god, Sir Theodore, that's terrible. Alright, well let's try our best then to help these poor souls. There's lots of ways to get pets, Arya. Some quests give you pets. There's a quest early on where you save a stray kitty and you can turn it into a pet. You can buy them. You can, I think you can pay real life money to get some of the pets. If you like. That can't be true, Nickman. It would be sad if it were. Alright, Velioff, I got the rod, dude. How's it going? Well, thanks. I think I found out how to make a rod like Evandis used to own. Wow, you have to show me that if you ever manage to make one. Don't worry, I will. I brought you the rod. Oh, you can, like, come back here and talk to him more if you're stuck on making it. I brought you the rod, dude. Hey! Mr. Pibbs, what is up, my friend? I'm so glad that you could stop in. And I'm so glad you enjoyed the series. You just caught up earlier today? Excellent. Well, the live stream is a little bit further ahead than the daily postings, but we're still rocking and rolling here. I'm pursuing the In the Aid of the Myreque quest and trying to help against Drakan in Mauritania. I've brought you the rod. Very impressive. Are you sure you wish to part with it, though? Yep, I've come to give it to you. I don't believe it. Could this truly be the rod as used by Evandis Seergaze? I don't believe it is. No, it's just one that I made to look like it. Well, Dr. Incompetent, you've certainly excelled yourself in this task. I believe you may be Myreque material even yet. I love how they're still trying to dangle this, like, Myreque membership in front of me. It's like, I just found the tomb of Evandis and replicated his staff, something no one's been able to do in thousands of years. And you're thinking, like, maybe you can join up. You tell me what any of these other members have done that even comes close to what I've done. You know what? I don't want to join your little club if you're going to be this ridiculous about your membership. Yeah, Mr. Pibbs, I got this scarecrow just randomly, like doing my farming. I was so pumped. Kiva, that's a good point. I did. I saved the young guy, though, from vampires. That's true, Morbin. I am incompetent. But, darn it, I've done some good stuff, too. Rate the game from 0 to 100? Boy, that's a great question. I tell you what, give me some more time to think about it more as I progress, but I really enjoy the game and look forward to each time I get to log on and quest.